world. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this web design in just 4 minutes. So let's begin. Let's start with the preset frame of MacBook Pro 14 in Figma. Now I'll search for an image that I like so I can get started on the web design. That in place, let's come to one of the most basic components of web design, the header. This header, I plan on making the navigation bar and a settings menu. First, I'll import the nav menu icon from the Iconify plugin in Figma. This will help me make my navigation section. In desktop-based designs, you find links spread out over the navigation area of the header. But for this UI design, I want the hero section to be as clean as possible, which is why I'm only using the navigation icon and not directly placing out the names of the links being used in the navigation bar. Similarly, I'll import the other settings icon from Iconify and place it on the left side of my container. Now it's time to complete the rest of the hero section. The hero section not only comprises of the nav bar and or the settings menu, hero section also contains primary images, headings, subheadings, and call to action buttons. So to get started on this one, I'll first create my title. The title has to be broad and bold so that the user knows where to look at when they first enter the website. Next, I'm going to construct my subheading. For this one, I'm using the Lorem Ipsum plugin, the Pirate Ipsum dictionary from the Lorem Ipsum plugin. I can now focus on adding a primary call to action button so that the user knows where to click on to get more information on the topic. These call to action buttons are super important, as without these the user doesn't know what to do next. I want the primary call to action button to stand out as much as possible, which is why I'm using linear gradient that starts from blue and goes to purple to set my button apart a little more from the background. I'll add 2 additional background fills to my image, of them being completely black of 25% opacity on top of my image fill, so I can make the image a little more black compared to the rest of the page so my text can stand out a little more. I'll also add another fill. This one uses the same gradient colors that have been used in the button to give the site a little more constant look and feel. And with that gradient, we are going to go to our next section. This one includes not only a heading and a description of a section, it also includes an image gallery. So this one is going to be a little tricky to build. Normally when constructing image galleries, you can go with standard grid layouts like these, but I want to make this section a little more sophisticated, which is exactly why I'm using a custom made layout. Constructing these at first can seem like a daunting task, but with time and practice, you can construct grids like these that make the section they are in stand out more. I'll wrap my heading, subheading, and text and other textual contents around this image gallery so that the site can flow smoother. So we can't forget the primary call to action button, which we are going to add just below the text. Now that I have finalized the layout of my images, I can also successfully fill them from images from Unsplash and add a border to the image that the user is currently selecting. Next section we're making today is the packages section. This section needs to be as attractive as possible because this is where the user is making a purchase, and this is exactly where we want to draw the user's attention and keep it for a prolonged period of time. I'll add a primary heading, and you can also add a subheading if you want. This brand has different packages and schemes. We want to construct this using cards. To lay the foundation of constructing a card gallery, I'll create different rectangles with similar height and width spaced equally across, having uniform design systems fitting into the section seamlessly. Put 3 different images to go on the top and add associated headings and subheadings along with call to action buttons to go along with them. I want to keep the theme of this section as colorful and bright as possible, which is why the call to action buttons and the background of this section needs to be as colorful as possible while agreeing with the gradient that we used in the sections before. Next section we're going to work on is the footer section. For this one, I want to keep everything pretty simple and import a text label with the copyright name of the copyright holder and the year. For the right hand side section of this web page, I want to have social media links to the respective profiles, for which I'm going to import the icons of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook from Iconify and style them accordingly with an auto layout to match and fit on the right hand side of my web page. And that's it. That's how we made this web design in just 4 minutes. If you like this one, consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon, share it with your friends, and like this video. And I'll see you in the next one.